No, okay, just wait outside, okay? Everyone just wait outside. I have to do some Electric Richard, it's very important. No, I know, just the kids can go wait outside, okay? It doesn't matter, the school photographs have to be taken. I know, just... Hello everybody, I'm Electric Richard, and this is my 2012 News Roundup of the Year. A look back at the past 12 months in gaming and marvel at the things that happened or didn't happen, but usually mostly happened. Part 1. Now it's been a long year, well, as long as all the others really. I mean, it's okay, it's just been a year. I mean, not including leap years, but really it's just been kind of a year. Anyway, it's been a nice year. And it's been such a packed year of gaming that this is going to be a two-part video, something you can watch over the new year and festive period and not miss me too much. So without further ado, here's a look at January. Did you know that in January, Temple Run, that annoying, I mean fantastic iOS game, also on Android and virtually everything else, was downloaded a grand total of, got it right here, 20 million times. 20 million. There's 20 million people playing the game. In other news, Sonic 4, that is, hits Steam. That's the, Steam is the online PC thing. Think iTunes, but with PC games. That's the gist there. That's a big news because no Sonic had never been on Steam before, and I think that's quite nice. Oh, it was Sonic 4. And one of the Sonic Adventures, but we'll let that slide. Steve Wozniak, did I say that right? Yeah? Okay. Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, admitted to everybody that he was actually a massive fan of Android as a gaming platform, possibly. I think it was related to gaming anyway. But either way, interesting stuff. He didn't say anything about iOS. He just said, okay, no he did. He said that there was parts of iOS that he wished were more like Android, and that's really what he said. So I mean, he wasn't giving it too much credence, and he said other stuff too, but that's the gist of it. And though we are just seeing the fallout of this next bit of news here in December, back in January was when the streaming gaming service OnLive went. But pretty soon they struck up a deal with Google, and now the OnLive service is going to be on LG TVs out of Korea, but probably in all the other countries too. So that's good. February. In February, the classic arcade game, The Simpsons Arcade, came to Xbox Live and PSN. Oh, I love that game. I spent many an hour playing that game. Okay, not that long, because really it wasn't really available in the arcades where I grew up and on the east coast of Scotland. But you know, there were a few, and when I got a chance to play it, I loved it. Yeah, quite possibly the funnest news that I heard about back in February was it kind of started like this. Game, the retailer, that's if you're an American or live in a different country, Game is a store, a shop, a chain shop, if you will, that sells, what do they sell? Games, video games. They're like GameStop. They sell first-hand games at, they're pretty much the maximum price. For people who haven't heard of Amazon yet, as Chuck once said. And then they also sell second-hand games at really high marked up prices. And then don't take them back. And like me, when I bought Burnout for the Xbox, I took it home to play it and it wouldn't play. I took it back to them and they said, "Oh, this is nice, but we'll change your copy anyway for a new one." So I took it back and it still wasn't working. So I guess, problem with my Xbox and all that. And they said, "Oh, well, you've got a problem with your Xbox, it's not our problem, it's not our problem." I did actually buy my Xbox from them, but whatever, they throw their hands in the air, that's the way it works there. Then, when that wouldn't work, they wouldn't sell it, they wouldn't give me a brand new copy again. So instead I said, "Look, I'll tell you what, I'll take the PS3 version because I have a PS3. So let's sort that round, I'll pay the difference, bish bash bush, who's to cry?" They said no. Instead, I had to sell the game to them and then use that money off the price of the PS3 version. So, poor Game, they're going under. Well, back in February they were announcing they're about to go under because they couldn't stock Mass Effect 3. It wasn't going to be sent to them because they couldn't afford to pay the people who send in the games. And I laughed. Despite that, however, the PS Vita launched in February, and the Oxford Street branch of Game was the launch spot for that. So yeah, I guess they're doing okay. Well, they were, but it's just been announced, so it wasn't that bad. Anyway, PS Vita, great console, came out about 15 years too late. Also, SSX came out, had a little review of that, and frankly, a lot of bells and whistles, but still a fine little game. Unfortunately, completely destroyed and drowned out by those aforementioned bells and whistles, so a bit of a shame. Back in March, the people who look at the sales records of American game sales, and I forget who that is for the moment, it's not really important, they said, "Oh no, guess what everybody, game sales are going down despite the fact there's been some massive launches this year in some plans, so oh dear, games are on the way out." but every game journalist and game player worth their salt was fully aware of the fact that a lot of games are sold digitally these days, downloaded online, so hard copy sales in the shops, that's what's declining. So good news for Digital Revolution, yay! Releases that month included Mario Party 9. 9, really? 9? Bloody hell, 9. Mind you, Mario Kart 7 is supposed to. Journey. Journey. Mass Effect 3 and Street Fighter X Tekken, or Street Fighter vs Tekken, or Street Fighter 10 Tekken, Street Fighter Kiss Tekken. I prefer Street Fighter Kiss Tekken. April. Now you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a suit today. Well, it's because, well, actually this is a photo studio and I've kind of had to sneak my way in because the other place I do lecture, Richard, is being renovated at the moment. So yeah, it's a bit of annoying, that one. Anyway, the reason I'm wearing the suit is because back in April, the greatest Star Wars game ever made was released, and that game was Star Wars Kinect. Now, when an overproduced, overhyped piece of external furniture, you might say, is put up against the Kinect, you end up with two things that really kind of go well together because they're both completely useless. Despite a couple of good TIE Fighter games back in the 90s and maybe a little dabble through the original Knights of the Old Republic, largely the games have been absolutely nonsense, rubbish, mediocre at best. So when Star Wars Kinect came out, a game so cheesy, so overdone, so overproduced, so painstakingly cheesy, it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I, as a Star Trek fan, as someone who thinks Star Wars is massively overrated, yeah, I do. Leave some comments, let me know. I'll argue you down, but you're wrong, but Star Wars is overrated. Oh, I was in my element. That game was brilliant. Dancing like Han Solo, oh, dancing like Han Solo. Oh, brilliant. On the other side of the gaming spectrum, also released back in April, was the first episode of The Walking Dead. Little did anybody know that would be a very good game. My game of the year, in fact. And Capcom launched a high street store in Tokyo. May! Ex-BioShock staff decided to leave the parent company and go away and start their own games development team. The Fulbright company, as they're known, released this statement, along blah 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 blah. Our intent in the end is simply to make a great game. A memorable experience that they'll be drawn into and keep thinking about after the game's turned off. Well, that's how BioShock went down for me, so I hope that means BioShock Infinity won't be rubbish. Minecraft hit Xbox Live. One of the only Doctor Who games ever made, Eternity Clock, came out. I mean, what's up with that? There should be more Doctor Who games. The overly gritty, weird departure from the normal, what we expect. Max Payne 3 came out and it underwhelmed me because of those things. Probably the biggest news in May was from Valve. They didn't release the Portal 2 level editor in May on consoles. They only released it on PC, so that's pretty bad news actually. Yeah. And the wonderful Batman Arkham City had its first major piece of DLC, that's Harley Quinn's Revenge, and we've heard no more since that, so I really hope they pull their finger out pretty soon on that one. June. Summer months are always quite quiet for gaming. As such, there's a few game releases like Pikmin 2, Lego Batman 2, the Metal Gear Solid High Definition Collection, which I have to say was quite a nice little box set. And Final Fantasy 3 was released for Android, yay! But for me, the best news that came out of June for gamers was from EA. Yes, they did something really cool, actually, really bloody cool. I know, just calm down, listen to this. EA had released 2 games up to that point where your main character can choose whether they fancy men or women. Even if you're a man or woman yourself, that was massive, open-minded, just normal, whatever, move on. But no, loads and loads of right-wing Christians in America and various other groups decided that was bad, spreading gayness. Ugh. Anyway, they had a massive campaign, wrote loads and loads of letters to EA, but EA said, no, shut up, go away. So open-mindedness and fairness prevails, thanks to EA. I never thought I'd actually say those words in that order. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Electric Richard. I always have been, I always shall be. That was part 1 of a 2-part review of the year of news of gaming. Please join us very soon for the second part, which is coming up. I thought I'd split them in 2 because there's quite a lot to pack in. Bearing in mind that things are going to get heavier in the next part because there's more news coming. But please let me know what you thought of these stories, whether I missed something out important, or whether you think, holy crap, I didn't know any of that. So why are you watching this channel knowing nothing about games? You should know a little bit about games if you're going to watch Electric Richard. That seems pretty normal to me. Please subscribe, please tweet, and have a Merry Christmas if you haven't won already.